Story 1. 4 years ago I cheated on my SO. We had already been together for 4 years. It was with one of his friends and it occurred over several months. I never did anything physical, but there were a lot of texts, calls, and private photos that I sent. One day the guy I had been talking to completely ghosted me. I was heartbroken. I felt used and I began to hate myself unlike how I had ever felt before. I pushed the pain aside and tried to forget about it. I decided to never tell my SO. I became very distant and began to treat my SO like crap. I pushed him away. A year later I found out my SO had cheated on me, nothing physical but just emotional cheating that happened over a few weeks before I caught him. He never gave me an exact reason as to why he cheated. His infidelity made me hate myself more. I forgave him and we have been incredibly happy and good to each other. We communicate and love on each other all the time. This month marks 4 years since my infidelity happened. The past few months it has been incredibly prevalent in my mind. I've been crying randomly and I think bad about myself all the time due to the memories. I constantly spiral out of control and have mental breakdowns. As far as I know, my SO just thinks it's my depression acting up, but in all honesty I can't stop hating myself for what I did and for the fact that I never told him. I feel that I have betrayed him every day. Part of me feels he already knows what happened. Maybe I'm just being paranoid, but a few months ago the man I cheated with was brought up and my SO gave me a look. Again, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but the look told me that he knew exactly what happened, that he found out and told the man, his friend, I cheated with, to ghost me and never talk to either of us again. Regardless of whether or not he knows, lately I have been thinking that I should just come clean. I don't want to make it sound like it's all for selfish reasons, but the main reason is because I can't forgive myself and want him to make the decision as to whether or not I should be forgiven. I don't want to lie to him anymore. I have told him everything in my life except this one thing, and this one thing is huge to me. If I tell him, it could go two ways. 1. He will have already known and likely will be relieved that I finally came clean. We can move on and grow. I can begin to forgive myself. 2. He didn't know and I may cause immense pain for him over something that happened only once years ago and will never happen again. We could break up and I don't want that to happen. The thought of that happening hurts more than anything. I love him with every fiber of my being. I can't decide which is better, and regardless of what I decide, to tell him or not to, it's a risk nonetheless. What should I do? I should add that I do have a therapist and they know what happened. I'm seeing them this week. I was either going to tell my SO tomorrow or the day that I see my therapist so I can get their advice. I'm so unsure of what to do and am asking for help from you guys. Edit, comment if you want, but I have already made up my mind that I'm going to tell him. I know I should have told him before, but I didn't. I am now. Please stop making me feel crappy over something that I already hate myself for. If this post came off as me, that wasn't my intention. Me cheating has hurt me more than him cheating ever did, and I know it'll be the same for him because what I did was worse. I don't know how to make it obvious that I am so incredibly remorseful for what I did. I always have been remorseful, but it's only gotten worse over the years and I can no longer take it. As I said in my post, it is his decision whether or not I should be forgiven. Thank you to the people who have actually seemed to want to help me and not belittle me for things that I can no longer change. TLDR, I cheated 4 years ago. I think I may want to tell my SO, but I'm unsure if it's a good idea or not, as he may or may not already know. You will eat yourself up with guilt. You need to tell him and deal with the fallout, whatever it is. Your relationship will stall and then falter if you just stop here. Your emotions will erode it out from under you. You already know the answer. Good luck to you. I already feel as though I'm falling apart because of the guilt. I feel as though I'm making the relationship bad again because of the fact that I can't move on. I just want to move on. I want to stay with my SO, but am willing to give him up if that's what he wants, even if it will end me. I just love him so much and can't stand knowing I've lied for this long. Thank you. A remorseful person tells on themselves, they don't hide it or hope it goes away to be forgotten. What you're saying is you feel remorseful. Take the last step and prove it to him and yourself. It may not go the way you hope, but it can't go any further if you stay and do nothing. You honestly seem like you are owning up to your mistakes. Good luck to you both. You are right. I think you should tell him. The fact that he's cheated on you, although terrible, may give him a reason to stay, where he doesn't have a leg to stand on considering himself a hypocrite. Although, since you cheated first, did it with one of his friends, for a much longer period of time, and lied about it for 4 years, this makes your infidelity all the more worse. And you said that you think he might already know. Although I doubt that he'd stay 4 more years just waiting for you to admit, if he gave you a look, don't pretend it wasn't there. Just like in poker, you can keep adding to the pot and calling his bluff, but if you get a glimpse of his cards, then it's time to fold. And what even is a relationship if it's built on a lie? Don't you want to sleep easy at night knowing everything's been settled? Knowing that you and your boyfriend both ducked up, and even though you ducked up more, he still loves you and wants you to stay? I have a few questions. When his friend ghosted you, did he ghost your BF as well, and just remove himself from your guys' lives? Did you intend on getting physical with his friend? Did you find the friend, specifically, enticing? Or were you in a bad spot and would have probably done it with any other guy at the time? Did you make it hurt for your boyfriend when you caught him, like put him down and make him feel ashamed of himself? Or did you mainly try to move on and leave the whole situation be? The guy completely removed himself from both of our lives. I don't believe he ever talked to my SO again, which is a big reason why I think he may know. There were a couple times that we discussed physicality, but every time he would push for it, I became very uncomfortable and made excuses as to why it couldn't happen. I think I was just in a bad spot. I didn't find him particularly attractive, but the way he talked to me just made me feel different. I wasn't feeling love in my relationship with my SO. Granted, I have borderline personality disorder and struggle with ever feeling loved. I didn't say anything to purposely hurt my SO. He told me that he regretted it and I took the incident as my fault, that I caused him to want to cheat. I want to be honest with my SO. I can't keep up with the lying. It hurts me on a fundamental level and I just want to be completely honest. I understand that if he wants to leave me, that's what will happen. I am willing to risk the chance of us breaking up if that means I was honest with him. I want to spend the rest of my life with him and worry that he may find out in the future if he doesn't already know. I can't lie to him for the rest of my life. Edit. Wanted to add that we moved on from his infidelity, though I brought it up maybe a couple times more since it happened, as I started to feel as if he was cheating again. I think it was just me projecting. I have major trust issues and barely trust myself. The borderline personality sticks out to me here. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder when I was 22. I'm now 34, almost 35. I have never cheated on any of my partners. I've been with my current SO for 14 years. He's the one who cheated on me. We decided to make it work, but I will only move forward with honesty. My BPD has nothing to do with me cheating. I brought it up because I struggle with feeling loved. You cheated. When AP ghosted you, you were hurt? When your SOB had an affair, you had the temerity to claim the high ground and forgive. Even today you seem to have zero remorse. 'Cause you have the gall to say that you moved on from his affair. But have brought it up a couple of times. And maybe he knew about your affair but did not even mention it once. No credit to him? The entire focus is I, me, mine. My AP ghosted me, I felt hurt. Not that I realized what I would have done to my SO. You are merely worried about him finding out or using it as an excuse to break up in the future. You are twisting my words. I never once said I moved on from his affair. It still hurts me to this day. I forgave him because I felt he deserved it. I brought it up a couple times because he had been distant at certain points and I thought he might have been cheating again. I brought it up once a month after I found out because I was still hurting, and then a year afterwards because I thought he was cheating. I haven't brought it up since. It's been almost 2 years since I brought it up to him. I know I shouldn't bring it up because I don't believe he will cheat on me again. I am extremely remorseful. The whole reason I didn't tell him was not only because I don't want to lose him, but because I'm scared of the hurt I'll cause. I don't want to hurt him. I hate seeing him in pain. I'd rather be in pain than him, which is why I haven't told him and why I've been holding it in and torturing myself. It wasn't until recently that I realized he might know. He is the best person I have ever dated. He treats me like a queen now. I don't believe that I deserve the way he treats me. I never have and likely never will, but this has nothing to do with me. I've already made my decision that he deserves to know. I have cried time after time because I hate myself so much for all the potential pain I will cause to him. Not just because I'm afraid to lose him. Again, you're twisting my words. Edit. Wanted to add that I'm allowed to be hurt that he cheated on me. Just like he is allowed to be hurt when I tell him what I did. That doesn't make either of us cheating okay, but we are allowed to be hurt. I'm ducking human. I make mistakes. He is the one person I have ever done this with, and this will be the only time it will ever have happened. I feel ducking terrible every single day for what I did, not for me but for him. I could have done much worse things, and yet I ducking hate myself. I thought not telling him was the best option, to keep myself from hurting him. I have since realized that I should have told him immediately. But I didn't, so I'm making up for it now. I can't change the ducking past. I wonder how this whole situation would have been different if AP hadn't ghosted you. What do you think would have happened? What would you have liked to have happened? Is this contributing to your guilty feelings? Towards the end of the relationship, I was already feeling uncomfortable. I 100% believe that I would have ended it on my own if he hadn't, and not soon after he did. I feel guilty towards the situation, towards what I did. I don't like to think about what could have been. That only makes me feel worse, and I can't predict a future that never happened. If your SO was the one who kept it secret, would you not want to know about it before you commit more to the relationship? I think the chances of him forgiving whether he knows it or not is higher, since he also cheated. In fact, he might, because he knew about it, and who knows what your friend would have told him. So it's better to just be honest and pick the pieces up later and try to build a better relationship with or without him. I would want to know. I think I knew what I should do before I even posted this. I'm just scared. I put myself in this situation though, so I just have to do it. I let guilt eat at me for 3 years. When we became engaged, I realized I couldn't continue the relationship without everything out in the open, regardless of the chance a fallout occurred. Unfortunately, it didn't end as I hoped, but both me and my ex learned a lot about ourselves and relationships. Despite all the hardship I had caused, he was glad I told him. If you are able to both arrive to reconciliation, there is a lot of hope for a stronger relationship. Communication is everything. Do not underestimate its power. We have been so good with communication, and I think that's why this is affecting me so much. I want 100% honesty with him. I hope we can be okay after I tell him, because I don't want to lose him. I don't want these 8 years to just go down the drain. I love him so much I could cry. I'm just so scared of the hurt I'll cause, but I know I can't keep this from him any longer. Worldwide comments of the day. Guess she missed that for richer or poorer part of the vows she took. LOL. She only regret because she lost her meal ticket and safety net. I love when they justify hypergamy with love. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and relatable Reddit videos.